Hey guys, I'm Eitan.
And I'm Naor.
And we're the Two Nice Jewish Boys podcast. And today we're going to talk about the 5 craziest COVID restrictions that are happening in Israel right now. So the first we're going to talk about is the fact that mask mandates are apparently still a thing.
I mean, why do you care? Wear your mask.
So it
Show solidarity.
It might seem like a minor restriction, but this really is a
Slippery slope.
It's a slippery slope, but it's also it's just a blatant encroachment on people's personal liberties. I mean, wearing a mask should not be mandated by the government in normal times.
You should wear a mask if you wish to. You can choose to wear a mask.
You know what? If we were in the midst of COVID without any vaccines, then maybe you have an argument that people need to wear masks. I still don't agree. But we have the vaccine. Israel is over 60% vaccinated.
Yeah, moreover, if you look at the 60 plus, age of 60 plus, you have crazy numbers like 80%, 90% of the 70 plus in Israel are vaccinated. You have the third dose now. Israel is the first country in the world where the elderly get to
A booster shot. But you know, you don't care about people's lives if you are anti-mask. You're basically on par with a murderer. People are handing out fines.
Yeah.
And you know,
the police is all over it. Like, they are now devoted to fine and even arrest people who don't wear masks. And you gotta wear them in the shopping mall, in shops. Apparently there's even a video going around of an arrest in Tiberias, the northern city here in Israel, in a shopping mall. You can see it. Did you see
No,
it?
I haven't. Let's look it up. It up. So we can see 2 cops. They're basically just on top of this man who's face down on the ground.
That sometimes doesn't end well, as we know.
Yeah. And they're just yelling the women around. It's all because of a mask.
Yeah, it's a very violent arrest.
Wow.
For not
like
wearing...
if you saw this, you would think this man just attacked someone. Right?
Yeah, just molested a kid or something.
Or, yeah, was caught in the bathroom with a kid, or stabbing someone.
Nope.
Like this guy, all he did apparently was not wear a mask in a mall.
You know, it's the death sentence.
Yeah. Probably.
Capital punishment.
Capital punishment. Capital punishment. There are actually thousands of cops apparently being diverted from their normal job.
Yeah, they're going to the cops. They're like, hey, guys, stop handling crime.
Yeah, stop chasing criminals.
Murderers can wait.
Yeah.
There'll always be murders.
Yeah.
Now we need you for a more important mission.
COVID.
Yeah.
COVID is now public enemy number 1.
Yeah.
And it really, I mean, that's how it started, right? Is because we were talking about COVID. The prime minister and the government was talking about COVID as if it is an enemy of the state, right? Mm-hmm. And that's exactly what's happened. COVID is public enemy number 1. So why not divert all the cops in Israel, or a big chunk of them, to fighting COVID?
So they go undercover now to weddings, not to eat the catering there. Maybe they will. I mean, I bet they will.
I mean, I
taste
would.
from the food of the wedding, if you're at it. And then they just go around undercover. If someone asks them, they say, "I'm from the bride side. I'm from the groom side."
What side are you on? You're the bride. I'm on the groom side.
And then, if they see like a grandma without a mask, they'll just give her a fine.
They whip out their weapon. Hey, lady! And then they all kind of close in on her.
They also go undercover in malls and shopping malls.
Yeah. I mean, these people are really, they're doing a great service for our country.
Yeah. You think of this cop, you know, he went to Cop Academy. Maybe SWAT.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the SWAT team. He went and he risked his life in various, and now
he learned how to how to defuse bombs and fight criminals and disarm people, and now he's handing out
fines to grandmothers in weddings.
Savta for not wearing a mask. Crime still exists, by the way, in Israel. There's still organized crime. I mean, the crime rate in Israel in general is relatively low, but compared to other countries. But there is still crime. There's murder. There's rape. There's theft. These cops would be so much better used if they were fighting crime actual crime. Number 3 is Green Pass. The Green Pass in Israel. This is happening also in some states in the United States and in other places around the world.
But
right?
here they just decided that the Green Pass is from the age of 3. By the way, the Ministry of Health wanted it from age 0, but the Ministry of Finance,
those toddlers, those infants.
they actually wanted it from age 0. The reason they went for 3+ is because the cost of getting free COVID tests for all the infants in Israel was just mind-blowing.
So what is the Green Pass? The Green Pass means you either have to be, you have to have proof of vaccination, proof of the fact that you're recovered from COVID, or you have to have a negative test. Now, the negative tests only last for a couple of days, 2 to 3 days, right? So either you have to be vaccinated, or you have to be recovered, or you have to have a negative test. You have to get tested every 48, 72 hours.
Which means if you're a child who cannot get vaccinated yet, right? If you're a 10-year-old child.
And who wasn't lucky enough to get COVID.
Yeah, then you're doomed to have this thing stuck in your nose for eternity, like
for every couple of days.
Yeah.
It's just absolutely ridiculous because the risk of death and severe disease for children is so low. And this is just absolutely unnecessary. It's a continuation of what started last year and of the government just not giving any care to people's personal freedoms.
But what does it mean though for the kid, like this Green Pass? Where
so basically you can't go to restaurants, no pools, no bars, no gyms, no theaters, no any recreational or leisure establishment basically.
So if I'm a family of 4 and I want to go to the restaurant,
yeah,
it becomes a whole operation, right? I need to get the kids tested and the kid is crying and then you need to bring the papers to the restaurant.
You're such a whiny
as well.
crybaby, Noah. It's just a restaurant. Can't you just live with it?
I guess I
come
can
on.
eat a toast at home.
Yeah, for the rest of your life, because COVID. And this really seriously harms businesses, because think about it. You're that family of 4. You're less likely to go out right now.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of harm being done to businesses and to people's livelihoods. In the end, this is how people are making their living.
Well, restaurants is a risky business, so it's your problem. You took risk.
Yeah.
Number 4 is COVID checks for kids in school. So the school year in Israel starts in September, which is in 2 weeks. And they are going crazy. They don't know what to do. You'll have more than 1 million pupils, and this is going to get crazy. So they came up with many crazy ideas because many kids cannot get vaccinated yet.
They thought to test them serologically, right?
Yeah, they actually wanted to do serological tests, which is basically
mandated, which is taking blood from these kids. So basically forcing kids to take blood tests in order to stay at school.
Yeah, like a 7-year-old should get a blood test now.
Yeah, what they're settling on is doing swab tests every couple of days because, again, these kids can't get vaccinated. So every couple of days, they're going to have to get a huge Q-tip stuck all the way up to their brain. And, I mean, I don't know if you've been tested for COVID. I have a couple of times. It is seriously uncomfortable. And that is the definition of government encroaching on your rights. They force you to stick a Q-tip up your nose.
Not to mention the cost. Like, those checks are free, right?
Free.
But they cost a lot because you have a person who does the check, and then you have the lab. So it's billions of dollars to check every 2 days the entire kids population.
Yeah.
And we're gonna pay for it.
Number 5, the last restriction, is honestly the one that kind of hits the hardest. Travel restrictions. And again, all of these might seem to you trivial, but this is just the tip of the iceberg. This is where it starts. The next thing you know is there's lockdowns.
No,
and
but
Israel is seriously considering lockdowns right now.
Yeah, but if you cannot leave your country and come back to your country, right, without being punished, that's a serious problem. in a
It is.
democracy, as we
It
see
is.
in Australia, where Australians can't go home.
The freedom to leave your country is a basic right in most democracies.
Yeah.
Right. I mean,
Unless you're North Korea.
Exactly. That is how many authoritarian regimes kind of maintain their authority and their power, right? From the Soviet Union to North Korea to Iran. It is often very difficult to leave these countries.
Right.
So it seems trivial, but when you think about it, these are really, really bad restrictions on personal freedom.
So here you have two aspects. First of all, the incoming tourism industry, which is the 6th largest export field in Israeli economy. And for a year and a half, it's totally shut down. Now, you might say, of course, we don't want tourists to bring COVID. But here's the funny thing. Israeli tourists could go to Europe, to the United States for like since January, right? If you're a vaccinated tourist, you can go to Europe. But vaccinated Europeans cannot come here.
But apparently they did have an idea to how to let tourists in, right?
I mean, yeah, the most ridiculous thing. They said, okay, you're vaccinated, that's okay, but we gotta make sure, so the minute you land here, you tourists, you will get your blood checked. So that's like it's the perfect vacation, right? You land like with your hat and
Your
sunglasses.
sun hat and
And they stick a needle up your arm. That's a way to start a vacation. So that failed, and now they're closing.
Instead, now they're just
Guys.
like, okay, fine, nobody can come. And this is a huge hit to anybody in the tourist industry. So again, another harm to businesses and to people's livelihoods.
Now they wanted to shut down the skies, but they can't because the Supreme Court a few months ago said that the country cannot shut down the skies. So what do?
So they basically decided the entire world is off limits, is dangerous, and they're red countries,
Regardless.
except for three countries, which after extensive research, of course, right?
Yeah.
Extensive research and much, very meticulous thought, they decided Austria, Hungary, and Czech Republic. Those are safe for travel.
Yeah, basically what they did, they spin the globe, right?
Yeah.
They got drunk, spin the globe, and the first
Chose three random countries.
Yeah. Yeah. No, but it's just crazy because it has nothing to do with data, right? Most of the countries in the world are safer than Israel right now. Israel is one of the highest numbers of COVID cases.
Delta variant.
Yeah, and there are most of the countries like Germany, Italy, they have way less cases, but they are red countries. You have more chances to contract COVID here than there.
Can you travel to a red country? And if so, what does it mean?
Yeah, you can travel, but when you come back, you need a week of house arrest, regardless if you're vaccinated, and even if you got tested there, if you got tested here, you need 7 days of house arrest.
So
Basically, they say to you, do not go abroad.
So that's the current situation in Israel. It's kind of disheartening, but we're remaining optimistic, and we hope that these restrictions will soon disappear from our lives and we'll be able to get back to normal.
In the meantime, we'd like to know what's the craziest COVID restriction in your country.
Yeah, so let us know what's going on. If any Australians are watching, I'm sure you guys have something to say.
Leave a
Let
comment.
us know what's going on in your country. Yeah, leave a comment below and tune in to the Two Nice Jewish Boys podcast. And thank you for watching.